We can't replace a wonderful lady, but if each of us do our part, our community, our state, our country will be a better place.
Hello and welcome to ABC 57 News special live coverage of the funeral service for Indiana 2nd District Congresswoman Jackie Walorski. I'm Brian Coneybear.
And I'm Tiffany Salme. Representative Walorski died in a car accident last week in Elkhart County, along with 2 of her top staffers and a local Nappanee woman.
Walorski was 58 years old, just 2 weeks shy of her birthday, in fact, and running for a 6th term in Congress when that tragic accident claimed all of their lives. The funeral service is set to begin in about 30 minutes. This is a live look outside the Granger Community Church right now, where as many as 2,000 people are expected to celebrate the life and legacy of Jackie Walorski. Family, friends, constituents, and dozens of dignitaries all gathering to say a final farewell today.
Walorski's casket arrived at the church by police escort about an hour ago. The service is expected to last about an hour and a half and is followed by a formal funeral procession to South Lawn Cemetery, where the Congresswoman, so dedicated to helping Michiana veterans, will be laid to rest with military honors.
And we also have a live look inside the sanctuary at the Granger Community Church. Now take a look at this. That is what the folks see inside the church. The Walorski family and church leaders inviting our cameras inside so the community and all you viewers at home can be part of this special memorial service.
Multiple elected officials are set to speak at today's celebration of Walorski's life, and the U.S. House of Representatives even chartering 2 planes to bring in lawmakers from Washington. You can see it's already getting pretty full inside the church, and the program has just been made public.
Yeah, we are told that Governor Eric Holcomb will be speaking, as will House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. There are lots of people in town from Washington, D.C. to say their final farewell to Jackie Walorski. And of course, ABC 57 News has extensive live team coverage of the services for Congresswoman Walorski, both here on air, and we're also streaming it all live on our website at abc57.com.
We have crews outside the church along the procession route and at the South Lawn Cemetery, where a huge garrison flag is flying in Walorski's honor today. We will check in with all of them throughout our special coverage today.
But first, a look back at the life and career of Jackie Walorski.
She was first elected to Congress in Indiana's 2nd District in 2012, serving 5 terms before heading to Washington. She was a state rep in the Indiana House.
But Walorski was more than just a politician to many people. She was a South Bend native who dedicated her life and career to helping others.
My grandparents lived, so obviously Philippa, is 1 street over from St. Edward's.
Long before she became the Congresswoman, dedicated to helping Michiana charities like the St. Vincent de Paul Society of St. Joseph County.
We were right next to the grocery store on the corner of Philippa and Ford. The Walorskis were 2 houses down. I believe her grandfather's name was Ray.
That was my dad.
Oh, that's her dad.
That was my dad. He was a South Bend fireman. What? This is like a genealogy
Isn't that
tree.
hilarious?
This is hilarious.
Before all the campaigning, all the handshaking, all the public events, and selfies with constituents, Jackie Walorski was a South Bend native, born and raised in the Gilmer Park neighborhood, attending Hay Elementary School on Johnson Road, and graduating from South Bend Riley High School in 1981. Walorski started college at the Reverend Jerry Falwell's Liberty Baptist College in Virginia, but then transferred to Taylor University, a Christian college closer to home here in Indiana. She and Dean Swihart, a teacher at Homs Elementary School in Mishawaka, were married in 1995, and the 2 did missionary work helping poor children in Romania, starting a charity there to feed, clothe, and educate refugees, and living in Romania as a couple for several years. Before entering the world of politics back home, Walorski covered the community as a journalist, starting her career at WSBT-TV in South Bend, working as a reporter there from 1985 to 1989.
When I worked as a reporter back in the day, I got the Dingus Day beat.
Friends and family say Jackie was always an animal lover, and she served as executive director of the St. Joseph County Humane Society until 1991, when she wound up becoming a fundraiser at Ancilla College near Plymouth, then worked as director of annual giving at Indiana University South Bend in her hometown. Walorski started her political career back in 2004, running for the Indiana House of Representatives and winning 3 terms, eventually rising to assistant floor leader. Then in 2009, the Republican announced she was challenging Democratic Congressman Joe Donnelly in Indiana's 2nd District. She lost a very close election to Donnelly that year, though. Then 2 years later, she won another tight race after Donnelly left the seat to become a U.S. Senator from Indiana. Since taking over as Congresswoman, Walorski was a leading voice for military veterans, helping them fight for better pay, benefits, and health care at the VA. She also became the ranking member of the powerful House Ways and Means Committee in Washington that helps prioritize government spending. In 2019, Representative Walorski was named to the Subcommittee on Worker and Family Support, an issue she was very passionate about. Walorski, a devout Christian, was also very active in the pro-life movement, attending rallies and right-to-life events all across Michiana.
And we're going to see in our day, the unborn are going to live. What's going to happen from this moment on, and they deserve the American dream.
In 2020, she also worked tirelessly on a coronavirus crisis subcommittee. And just last year, she became the ranking Republican on the House Ethics Committee, a sign of her political power and respect earned in Washington over nearly a decade of fighting for causes she believed in and for the people of Indiana.
It's hard to have members of Congress from a state such as Indiana, because of our smaller size, on the committee, yet she served there and served well. And so we were really, as a state, punching above our weight, having Jackie on that committee. So it'll be interesting to see how the caucus fills that seat, that particular committee seat in the future. But Jackie will be big shoes to fill for sure.
And even if you strongly disagreed with Jackie Walorski on any particular political issue, she was still willing to shake your hand, look you in the eye, and have a pleasant conversation, getting to know her constituents and their concerns firsthand, like the true public servant Jackie Walorski became.
This is another live look inside the Granger Community Church right now in the sanctuary, where mourners are gathering to pay their final respects to Congresswoman Jackie Walorski. Her funeral set to start in just about 15 minutes, and ABC 57 will bring it to you live in its entirety. We do want to mention we just got the program, and Eric Holcomb, the governor of Indiana, is expected to speak, as is the House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy and the House GOP whip Steve Scalise, as well as a congresswoman from Missouri and a congressman from Ohio who worked very closely with Jackie Walorski. You can see the crowd filling in there right now.
Thank you for being here. It just speaks volumes to see how many people one life can touch. Jackie, more than anything else, was about the gospel of Jesus Christ. I cannot tell you the hundreds of times, and I'm not exaggerating, as God is my witness, that we prayed that her position in Congress was not to be a position for her or I to get a big head, but that it would be used of the gospel to reach thousands of lives. Her smile, joy, peace, laugh are all rooted in her deep faith in God. Jackie loves the United States of America. She, we, her and I, we also love and pray for Israel. My Bible says, God will bless those who bless Israel. And she'd want that to be known today. Jackie loves me dearly. But here's a small list of the things that she loved. She loved riding on her cool chopper bicycle that looked like a Harley Davidson with her fists hanging from the monkey, what do you call it, the ape hangers. She loved pontooning As Pastor John already said, she loved palm trees. She loved privacy. She did so much flying with Congress that she was happy to stay at home under our fake palm tree. And it was private enough in our backyard that we could swim and the world didn't know. And it was just wonderful. She also loved our 2 dogs. We're double income, no kids, 2 dogs. The dink thing doesn't work out anymore. I don't know what that works. She loved catching bass, and she loved darkening up her farmer's tan. She lacked patience. She didn't like it when we said it. She didn't like to wait for anything. And I think her impatience has been proved out today as she just had to beat us all to heaven.
As the dark clouds of morning hover over us, they cannot ever obscure the bright beacon of light and hope that Jackie radiated as she walked into that room and people gravitated toward her. It felt as if the room tilted in Jackie's direction. People wanted to hear what she had to say. I think every conversation we ever had involved RVs, veterans, small business, her neighbors, what was going on in the district. She was tethered to her home. And yes, she could talk. She could bring it, quite frankly. And she did. Whether you agreed or not. It is impossible on one day to quantify what this Lady Liberty, what this true Hoosier torchbearer, this good and faithful servant accomplished. Her legacy will endure, and her beacon of hope will continue to burn bright, because we will make sure of it and carry on Jackie's torch.
I've known Jackie for more than a decade. You're going to hear a lot, and you know how Jackie lights up a room. I want to be honest with you. She doesn't just light up a room, she runs the room. When the minister came up and read about all the occupations of Jackie, be it the Humane Society, reporter, a missionary, a congresswoman. Tell you the truth, Jackie never had a job. She always had a purpose and a mission. She had the highest respect of every colleague. You know, when you go to Congress, people work really hard to get on certain committees. And oh, she rose to the very highest committee you could, Ways and Means. But there's not one member of Congress on either side of the aisle that ever asked me to be on ethics. But when there was an opening, there was only one person I thought to call to be the lead Republican. Why? Because of her ethics, her integrity, and her respect on both sides of the aisle. The praise that she would have from both sides is tremendous. In today's world, that's a little difficult. When we look at Jackie and we think of Jackie, and we will often, she was prepared for a day that we were not. But if there's one thing that we can do, we can honor her life with being a little more like Jackie. To my members, that doesn't mean you run the meeting like Jackie did. That means you have the heart, the passion, the integrity, and the faith, and the servant heart, not for a job, but to serve.
We all know that life is precious, but Jackie really understood how precious life was. She lived every day living out her faith, but also carrying this spirit with her. I can't think of a memory of Jackie where there wasn't just this positive spirit. And sure, we had tough conversations about policy. You think about the issues we had to deal with. She was a member of my deputy whip team, so we would work through some of the more complicated things together. And you have those conversations. But she always approached it with such a positive energy. She would describe herself as a happy Hoosier. That was her definition of how she approached life. And I think anybody who looks at all of these pictures of her, just these beautiful tributes, it's about that happy Hoosier. Going into battle, being a warrior, going into Romania, wherever she was, she might have been doing difficult things, but she did it as a happy Hoosier. And that was the infectious side of her. And if we could all just carry a little bit of that happy Hoosier attitude with us in everything we do, this world will be a much better place.
We have truly lost one of the best of us. We will honor the memory of Jackie Walorski by putting one foot in front of the next in our service to God and country. Whenever I came to the floor of the United States House of Representatives to vote, I would generally make my way to the Indiana row, and almost like clockwork, either Greg Pence or Larry Bucshon, Jim Baird, or Banks would pop up and give me my seat next to Jackie. I hope that you all will still make an occasional place for me. In the Indiana row. Jackie, you were my fiercest advocate in Congress. We worked together. We laughed and cried together. We prayed together. I know that you are joyfully with our Lord and Savior in the palm of his hand. But I will miss you, my friend, deeply. I close today with a passage from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 16, verse 9. And it reads, here's the lesson. Use your worldly resources to benefit others and make friends. Then, when your earthly possessions are gone, they will welcome you to an eternal home. To our dear friend Jackie, rest in the peace of Christ until you welcome us all to his eternal home.
So Jackie was my battle buddy from day one. We came in together, Walorski and Wenstrup, side by side, and we were always looking out for each other. But we were always passionate about the same things: our military, our veterans, our public servants, police and fire, passionate about improving lives, lifting others from poverty. I serve on Ways and Means, and one time I was asked about maybe next term, maybe I could chair a certain subcommittee. And I said, I'm going to stay right on the subcommittee that Jackie leads. That's where I want to be. Well, that committee is Worker and Family Support, which is so consistent with her life and Dean's life. Jackie's life is about missionary service, and she took that to government service. Roberto Clemente, a Hall of Fame baseball player, Roberto once said, If you have the chance to make life better for others and you fail to do so, you're wasting your time on earth. Jackie Walorski did not waste 1 minute of her time on earth. Jackie is in heaven. She flies with the angels, probably landing now and then to dip her feet into a pool.
You're seeing two images here on your screen right now. One on the left there is the hearse that currently has Jackie Walorski's casket inside as they prepare to leave the parking lot at the Granger Community Church. And on your right is the actual procession. And ABC 57 has been given permission by the Walorski Swihart families to have a camera inside that procession. We have a vehicle there with that camera on top, so you will be able to watch and be part of this moment in local history as Jackie Walorski's funeral procession makes its way to the South Lawn Cemetery. And again, Kevin, we expect full military honors. What do you think happens once the funeral procession gets to the cemetery? What happens after that?
Well, this may be different than the usual circumstance. I mean, it's not often that a sitting congressman or woman pass while in office. But the usual typical instance that happens, a representative will meet the family immediately upon arrival, hand burial documents, it's military, certification that this is a military service. And then after the guests are present, the family gets escorted over to the burial site where the funeral will be held. And then guests, follow the funeral coach, or in this case, you mentioned the horse.
Caisson, the horse-drawn
yes.
carriage, yes.
Yes, and the military members will present arms and salute her as she passes. And the chaplain or whoever's presiding over the service will do the service. And once the service concludes, the guests will rise for full military honors, and the members will present arms, and then the bugle will play with taps, and the service will be concluded after that.
We're expecting a 21-gun salute, and as well as her family will get an American flag, correct?
Yes, and for the circumstance of a military honors at a funeral, they use the term 3-rifle volley, which is pretty much the same thing as the 21-gun salute, but it's done in different circumstances. They use a different term. So there'll be the 3-rifle volley, because most times it's 7 members that will fire the rifle 3 times.
For 21, that adds up to 21.
Right, but
yes.
It doesn't have to be 7 members. It's just traditional, you want the 7 members in there.
Okay. Obviously, a police escort for this entire funeral procession. You can see some motorcycle officers there getting ready to lead this procession and that hearse to the South Lawn Cemetery just off Kern Road. And again, people are being asked to gather. If you're watching at home right now and would like an opportunity to give one final salute or show your respect for Jackie Walorski, you can head out to the procession route right now. And that includes Capitol Avenue through Mishawaka down to Kern Road East. And people are gathering at a middle school there, Tiff.
It is Grissom Middle School that is off of Kern Road and Elm Road. If you'd like to gather there, it looks like the procession is going to get started here any minute now. And you can see the hearse and all the police officers just waiting. There's a lot of security that goes into this as well, Kevin.
Yes, obviously the movement is not a far movement, but you notice that they're taking a highway on the route. They don't want to go through the city, through stoplights. They want to make a continuous movement in order to make sure everybody is safe as they move over to the cemetery. Now, the security, you can see the motorcycles in front. That's always, you always want the motorcycles to lead the convoy, or in this case, the procession, to be able to break off in case some of the other cross streets, somebody happens to get through, you have a motorcycle available to, kind of cut it off and stop anybody from coming through so there's no accidents on the way. You see 331, they're going to come down. The intersections are probably going to be closed down, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes prior to movement, so it stays shut. So if you are looking to cross over 331, now would be the time before the movement begins.
Yeah, for the next half hour or so, the drive time from the Granger Community Church to the South Lawn Cemetery is about 22 minutes. But when you're trying to move hundreds of people down this route, and here is the map Kevin was just referring to, they're going to come out of the backside of the church on Cleveland Road, head east, then turn right on Capitol Avenue, which is 331, and take that down to Kern Road and hang a right there to go back west over towards South Lawn Cemetery. So if you happen to be in that area, expect road closures, expect temporary delays, because they will be closing intersections to allow the funeral procession to get to the cemetery altogether. You obviously don't want to break up a funeral procession, especially one for a sitting Congresswoman like this, with all of the pomp and circumstance going on along with it. But it appears the driver just got into the hearse now, and they are preparing to begin this procession. Again, ABC 57 will continue to bring you live coverage of this. We have been invited by the family of Jackie Walorski and her husband Dean Swihart to bring you the entire funeral procession and even the graveside burial service. They wanted the community, they wanted Jackie's constituents, voters, and everyone else to be able to be part of this final farewell to her. So they are allowing us to have a camera in the funeral procession. There are cameras along the procession route. At the Garrison flag that you've heard about, that huge flag hanging from those two giant tower ladder trucks from the fire department, and then on to the actual graveside burial itself. We will be able to bring you all of that here during our special coverage on ABC 57 News this afternoon.
And we are expecting to hear from mourners as well. We have reporters stationed all across this procession, and we'll bring you that coverage, as long as this lasts. We are waiting for the funeral procession to begin. It looks like everything is in order right now. I'm assuming there is a lot of traffic getting out of Granger Community Church, and looks like they are getting started.
I would think most of the mourners would be leaving the front side of the church onto East University Drive. The procession itself, with obviously the casket, all of the dignitaries from Washington, D.C., and the Walorski and Swihart families are in this procession. They are going out the back side of the church onto Cleveland Road right now. You can see multiple police cars there in the parking lot. They're lights are on and trying to control the flow of traffic there. But again, Jack, you talked about the size of the crowd at the visitation yesterday. That church, the Granger, that was Jackie Walorski's campaign trailer. She has been known to go to parades and other events in that trailer with her supporters on it, people wearing her t-shirts and signs, and that is part of the procession too. That is a very, very thoughtful touch. But this church is a very large church. It can hold a lot of people.
Yes. Was the first time that I was in there to see the church, and I was amazed at the size of it. And I think just the people who were lined up probably would have almost filled it during the visitation, and I'm sure it was filled today. I was going to mention, we're talking about the diversity, and another thing that struck me was looking at the floral displays and seeing the various groups that were sending flowers, some political groups, of course, some business groups, and some county councils, city councils. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, had a big floral display that she sent, and just the displays of the flowers showed some diversity. The people who sent them. I was thinking especially with Nancy Pelosi. She's pretty busy now trying to line up support for the reconciliation bill. Huge bill with a big part of Build Back Better in it. And of course, Jackie would have voted against it, no doubt about that. And yeah,
but she's still sending flowers.
She's sending flowers, yes. And with a nice little message along with it.
And Vice President Mike Pence, one of his aides informed ABC 57 that he sent flowers as well. He and his wife, they had apparently a longstanding family commitment out of the state of Indiana that I was told could not be changed, but that Mike Pence did speak with Dean Swihart, with Jackie Walorski's husband, in the days following the accident to convey his condolences as well. You're looking at the actual funeral procession right now. Again, ABC 57 given permission to have a vehicle and a camera in the procession by Jackie Walorski's family. And there are people lined up along the procession route now, some of them holding flags. You can see that on your right. We want to check in right now with ABC 57's Julianne Grahowski. She is along that procession route near the middle school where people are lining up. Julianne?
Yeah, Brian, that's exactly right. People are lining up on this side of 331 here at Grissom Middle School, all to watch the procession. And, you know, plenty of people are out here either in their cars or, like you can see here, they're standing out on the side. Like you mentioned, many with American flags in hand. And it's truly a special sight. You know, these are the people that weren't able to make it out to the funeral and visitation. And all these people, I've talked to most of them, they're just loyal constituents. And they felt that they need to pay their respects to the former Congresswoman, and you know, many of them getting emotional too. You can see the green flag. I spoke with that couple. They brought it out. They thought it'd be important to bring out that veteran flag to honor Jackie Walorski and all the work she did with veterans. And from the spot, you can actually see people peeking out. You can see the Garrison flag down the road. So like we mentioned, the procession will come down right through here to that intersection. They're going to take a right and they'll make their final stop at South Lawn Cemetery. But for now, we're all just still anticipating the procession. Like we mentioned, it's going on a little bit late, but plenty of people are here to watch that procession from the sidelines.
All right, Julianne, thank you very much. How many people are there and how long have people been waiting, do you think?
Well, you know, I talked to the first people that got here a little bit after 10. They were the first people. We were kind of worried some people weren't going to come out, but not long after. There have been plenty of people that showed up. I'll flip around the camera now to show you what the parking lot looks like, too. There's some people parked in their cars. Actually, they drove up to the front so they can see, as you can see, I'm right here by Grissom Middle School. And yeah, there's a lot of people parking up right here, right to the front, so they can get a really good view. And actually, you can see right now that intersection down here is getting blocked off. That's where they're going to take the right to finish up at South Lawn Cemetery. So it looks like they're going ahead and blocking that off now. But definitely plenty of people. You can see more on this side of the screen as we turn here. Again, all with flags in hand and just doing their due diligence, watching the former Congresswoman laid to rest.
All right, Julianne, thank you, and thank you for your coverage. Again, ABC 57 does have cameras all along the route, including in the procession itself. That's what you're seeing on the left there is the actual procession as it's making its way down 331 right now towards Grissom Middle School and Kern Road, where it will then take that right-hand turn and head over toward the South Lawn Cemetery for the formal military burial service. And the huge Garrison flag awaiting the arrival of the entire funeral procession, along with that hearse carrying the last remains of Congresswoman Jackie Walorski on her way to her final resting place this afternoon.
Brian, I would like to say, just think about the honor that those firefighters, knowing that her father served as a firefighter, that they get to do this for her as she's moving her way to her final resting place. The honor behind, you know, putting up the truck and ladder, you know, as a fireman and knowing that you're doing something. And she fought for all first responders, ensuring that they were taken care of as well as veterans.
And here comes that funeral procession right now underneath the Garrison flag as it is happening. You're watching special live coverage here on ABC 57 News of the funeral services for Congresswoman Jackie Walorski. And this is a moment that we will not forget. Her funeral procession passing under that huge Garrison flag on their way to the burial service at South Lawn Cemetery. Tiff.
And our ABC 57 morning anchor Summer Haran has been standing by for us at the burial site. We want to go to her now. Summer, tell us what you're seeing, what you're hearing as we get ready to see Congresswoman Jackie Walorski be laid to rest.
Well, Tiffany and Brian, we've been here since about 10:30 this morning, and this is the moment. This is the moment that Michiana, has been waiting to see all day. I mean, even talking about it now, I can feel myself getting a little choked up. I was able to talk with Congresswoman, Woman Walorski quite a few times, and she just had a beautiful presence about her. So to be able to see, the family coming in here today and the amount of servicemen from various branches and services be here, it's just, incredible. So right now through your screen, I'm gathering myself a little bit here too. It's a hard day for all of Michiana, especially, for us natives who call it home.
You see members of all military branches there, the U.S. Marines, the U.S. Army, Air Force, Coast Guard, even the Space Force, the most recently added branch of the U.S. military is represented. There is a Navy member, Air Force member as well, all in their dress uniforms, the U.S. Marine right there, escorting Jackie Walorski to her final resting place, right next to her father, Raymond Walorski, a former South Bend firefighter and U.S. Air Force veteran himself. Jackie Walorski, born and raised in the city of South Bend. She was raised in the Gilmer Park neighborhood. She attended Hay Elementary School, was part of the Riley High School class of 1981. Started college at Liberty Baptist College, now Liberty University, run by the Reverend Jerry Falwell, later transferring closer to home. Let's listen in now to this ceremony as the Military Honor Guard delivers Jackie Walorski's last human remains to their final resting place.
Now, the family has asked us not to show the casket being transferred from the caisson, so we will pivot away for that moment. But Kevin, I want you to explain once again what we can expect when it comes to her burial service. You can see all the people gathered to pay their respects right now.
Yeah, you can see all the members that came with her are following her to her final resting place. And then once, they're going to secure the casket and walk it over to its final place, chaplain will preside over the service and discuss things and give a sermon, if you will, and then talk about the fallen. And we'll talk about Jackie Walorski. And after the ceremony concludes, the guests will rise and military members will present arms and they will do the 3-rifle volley. Then once that is finished, the bugler will play taps and the family will be seated. The flag will be folded and presented to the next of kin or whichever family. I know her mother is there as well, so it may go to her mother. And then the service will be concluded from that point.
You're watching special live coverage here on ABC 57 News this afternoon of the funeral service, funeral procession, and now the burial service at the graveside for Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, who lost her life in that tragic car accident just last week, doing what she does, or did, going from event to event here in the 2nd Congressional District of Indiana, representing people, meeting people, shaking hands, listening to them, trying to understand their issues and their problems, and as Jackie often did, helping them in any way she could. She was a dedicated public servant. Even those who disagreed with her politically must admit that she was a dedicated public servant who tried to put her constituents' needs before her own. You can hear in the background a little bit the military honor guard being called to attention. They have just halted the caisson and the horse-drawn carriage, and they are now preparing to move the casket off of that carriage and toward the actual grave. Jackie Walorski being buried, as we mentioned, right next to her father, Ray, a U.S. Air Force veteran who also spent years and years serving the South Bend community as a firefighter. And of course, firefighters also bringing out 2 of their tower ladder trucks today in honor of Jackie Walorski to hold that huge American flag across the road as the funeral procession drove underneath. And now we see the honor guard there on the right holding the American flag, standing at attention and saluting as Jackie Walorski's casket is being removed from that horse-drawn carriage. A very, very poignant moment for all of those there. You can see people holding hands, some of them hugging, others hands behind their back, standing at attention. A somber moment, but you can now see the caps of those military pallbearers, that honor guard that is carrying the casket from the back of the horse-drawn carriage to Jackie Walorski's final resting place there at South Lawn. And now the bagpipes play. Let's listen in and let you at home experience what it's like at this service in person.